Let's move on to the rest of the SAC, and you know that game is essentially for first place. The way it seems, the way it stacks it up right now, we're still trying to kind of figure out that hierarchy of who comes behind Snyder and Homestead. It looks like at this point, Carroll at Dwenger could be a game that helps decide that. How do you see this one playing out? Because Carroll had some, they got knocked up a little bit, or knocked up. That's probably not the right term. they got roughed up a little bit early.
There we go.
But now have bounced back and are playing some good football. I saw them now. Hopefully they didn't get knocked up. We'd have a whole new science show, which would be amazing. Doug Diner would have a lot of questions to answer. But they're starting to play better football. Jack Miguel throws 7 touchdown passes last week. And now they're taking on a Dwenger team who, you know, we liked a lot early. We weren't sure what we were going to get. They lost last week 42-0 to a good Homestead team.
Yeah, and I don't know what you're more concerned about for Bishop Dwenger, the defensive play last Friday or the offensive play. With Jordan Hudson out, injured, it's just really difficult to find anybody on that offense to really carry the load. I mean, we're looking for a star or two to emerge for Bishop Dwenger. Most years we can say, well, they're solid, not spectacular, and they win, but it just seems like they're missing that one guy that can take over offensively, whether it be a quarterback or a receiver or running back, somebody to make a play. And they don't have that with Jordan Hudson out. So that's the big question for me, Bishop Dwenger offensively. Defensively, you look, they have some big guys up front, especially when they put Joe Tippmann on the defensive line occasionally. But, man, you're looking at those linebackers, they look undersized. They couldn't win one-on-one battles in the secondary against Homestead receivers last Friday. So it's something where you're like, man, you know, the size just that we're so used to seeing in Bishop Dwenger really isn't there this year. But you think they're going to bounce back. I'm not saying they win Friday, but they're going to have a better performance, obviously, than they did last Friday. And Carroll, since they got owned by, not knocked up, but owned by Snyder, they played pretty well. And I think, you know, and even after that Bishop Luers game where Jack Miguel was really held in check and really looked rattled after 3 interceptions, he's bounced back and played very, very well, including the 7 touchdown passes last week. So I think Carroll is trending in the upward direction, and I think Bishop Dwenger, we'll find out a lot about them this Friday, whether they can bounce back or maybe just they don't have the pieces this year. I think we find out a little bit more Friday night.
Concordia at Northrop is another interesting contest. That's one that I believe you're going to be at. So what do you see as being key in this game?
Well, I think the story is Concordia. I think, you know, we saw them lose to Snyder by 17 points. We're like, well, okay, that's pretty decent. It's almost a win, especially for a 3A team.
Yeah.
And they go and absolutely dominate Bishop Luers on both sides of the ball, a Bishop Luers team that we were very impressed with week 1 against Carroll. So all of a sudden you look at a Concordia team that, okay, they lost a lot to graduation from the state championship team. We thought inevitably they're going to drop a little bit, but I don't think they've dropped as much as we thought. That defense especially, Trey Freeman is just a beast up front defensively. Other guys have stepped up, and I think the offense is coming along. Jake Bird is growing more and more comfortable with each passing week. He's not Peter Morrison, but he's not being asked to be Peter Morrison, and it's really being they're really successful right now. I think it was very eye-opening how dominating they were against Luers last week.
Yeah, I think Kamara Anderson-Drew doesn't get enough credit. Tyson Chambers out there. Kyone Griggs, I mean, they've helped in the maturation process as Jake Bird finds his wings at the quarterback position.
I like that.
Not knocked up, but finds his wings. Occasionally I can turn a phrase. Luers at Northside, Southside at Wayne are also games this week in the SAC. But let's move